Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a Should You Pull on the Jihl banners. Before I go into this though, we'll just talk about kind of the personal stuff that's going on. So a lot of you probably saw I made a post, but my wife and I, we were not really looking like to move or anything. And we just happened, like a friend kind of tipped us in that like a really nice house on the river went up for sale, and that's always like everyone knows, like it's been my wife's dream to like live on water. So we kind of went and looked at the house for fun, and we liked it so much we made an offer on it, and then it got accepted. So now, it's all pending. We've got to sell our house and everything first. So the reason why things are really crazy around here is we weren't prepared to move. Like literally nothing had been packed, anything like that. And so now we're scrambling like crazy to, get the house ready to be shown to people and things like that. We scrambled last night, worked for like the whole entire freaking day just to get it ready for photos this morning. Our house is going to go up on the market today, and then we have to, we're still kind of cleaning things up, but we might have showings as soon as tomorrow. So things will be crazy, and then we have back to school too. I have another kind of channel update video that's going to talk about back to school stuff that I recorded that before this move stuff even happened, so it won't mention that. But I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Like I said, I'm still going to try to be kicking out content, but it's definitely not going to be every day, and it's going to be a lot less than usual. But I had a spare moment, so let's go ahead and talk about Jihl. So we've got Jihl, Nabaat, and then we've got Paine coming on a couple of banners, right? Now, I have been starting off by talking about spheres. I think people like to know like what spheres are good on these banners. Actually, I forgot to look at. I'm actually not sure what Jill's sphere is, but like you don't really have to worry about it because like if you're gonna pull like on a brand new character like this, you're not gonna pull for just her sphere. So if you're pulling here, it's gonna be because you want Jihl, right? But I'll talk about the spheres I do know. Sync is kind of like a Brave Gain sphere, nothing really to worry about. Agrius does have a really nice Max Brave sphere, so that could be a pretty good one if you want a good Max Brave sphere. But it's kind of funny when we look at this Paine banner, this is kind of like a sphere banner because all three of these have really good spheres. You could argue that these are like the best spheres for their category, right? Paine, I think you could argue is the best each sphere in the game. Attack up to the party, attack down on enemies, very good. Alpha Nod, you could argue, is the best C slot in the game because it's a generic party attack up that pretty much any C slot character can use. And then Jack, you could argue, is one of the best A slots in the game because it has an attack an attack brave damage combo on it, which I think him and Rydia, and then there might be like one other one, but they're not very common. But his is like the most generic and easy one to use. So if you're just want to dump tickets for some EXs to try to get some good spheres, I mean, this banner, all three characters are insane for their EXs, right? Now we'll talk about the banners themselves in terms of like, should you summon for the characters, right? Jack and Alphanod as like in-party characters, definitely not worth it. LD only, they don't really do enough for the party to really warrant being used. Over like an FR Echo character, right? So definitely don't be chasing them. But like I said, if you're hopping in here and you get the EXs, like the EXs are good to hold on to. Paine is definitely very good. Paine is probably known as one of the more kind of like fun, unique characters in the game. She was the first ever character that came out where character placement in the party really matters. So based on where you play her, you can make her a really potent debuffer, or you can make her a really good buff character. And then her BT, which I actually do really want, but I really can't afford to chase it here. But her BT does add like a really nice poison that's very helpful in some fights. So I know that there are some Paine players out there that use her a lot, that get a lot of use out of her, and she's very good. But she's definitely not like a must get, right? And plus she's just a rerun at this point. So, I mean, she's the same Paine that we got the last time she came out. So I would say this banner for most players is pretty easy to skip. Unless you've got an abundance of tickets and you really want some EXs for spheres. Like, this is one of the best, like, sphere summoning banners out there for sure. Then we're going to go to Jihl. So Jihl is a very good character. Now, the way Jill's going to operate, she kind of does a little bit of everything. But I do see her... I see her as like a support character, but a very offensive support character, if that makes sense, right? Because she does the things you want out of a support in that she batteries, she heals, and she force charges. So those are like kind of like the three keys to a really good support. She does all of those, right? But the other thing is she can get really offensive because she is like a follow-up damage character. And with her BT effect, kind of similar to characters like Rex, where it makes their thing happen twice, basically. So when her BT effect is up, you're going to get double follow-ups, and then the damage gets really powerful, right? She has a unique overhead mechanic where, like, her 35 and her LD can refresh her overhead. And the overhead's what gives her the follow-ups, right? The thing that's unique about her is she has an EX that's fairly powerful, but then the EX actually takes away the overhead. So then when you lose the overhead, you have to refresh it with the 35 or the LD to get the follow-ups back. Well, the BT gets really nasty because what the BT does is it says when you basically remove the follow-up or you remove the overhead buff with your EX, it instantly just puts it back on again. And it has a very interesting interaction where like Jihl putting the overhead back on with the BT effect, it actually adds an extra 30% to the HP gauge during a force time, which is really crazy because her force conditions also are very, very good. It's a very free and easy 80% for like any character because it's literally do melee damage and deal HP damage to all enemies. And I don't think that necessarily means you have to be an AoE character. As long as your attacks deal splash damage, I think it counts. So literally, you could set her up on a team with melee characters that just will deal AoE HP damage, and you're going to get a free 80%. And then on her turns, what's going to happen is she's going to swing for 80%. If her BT effect's up, like let's say you do the EX, right? The EX in theory should get 80. Remove the overhead, reapply the overhead, and just add another 30. So then on those turns, she's getting, 110%, which is really high for just like a normal melee character to get on those turns. And not to mention that she force charges with her 35. So she is a really, really nice character. I'm going to really be curious to like look at her damage when I get in and do the showcase. What I'm going to say is if you're a player that's maybe newer or like lacking support characters, I think she is actually like a very good pickup. And she's very versatile because I see her as a character that you could just let her be a support, do her follow-ups and do her thing, or you could like go insane with the BT and like really focus on her and make her the offensive threat. Like I think she's very flexible that way, right? So I would say if you have the resources and you like the way she sounds, you like that type of character, you definitely don't feel bad about going in on her. I think she's going to be very, very good. I personally... And for me, it's not because I don't want Jihl, but I'm going to just probably go tickets. I know in my last summoning video, I said my luck was so good I would maybe like gem and get the BT. The problem is even if I get the BT, I can't green it. Getting the BT, I suppose, would be nice just as something to put a book on. But, you know, the way my luck has been, you guys, probably just going to get her BT on the freebie anyways, right? So I'm just going to plan tickets. Yeah, my plan is I'm going to go tickets on her, see what I can get. I'm going to get the full kit up to FR for sure. She's going to be a really nice character, FR only. Like, you definitely don't have to have the BT. It's just that if you don't have the BT, it's just like every time you use the EX, you got to make sure you're reapplying the overhead with the 35 or LD. And the LD also recharges the EX, so you could just do LD EX spam, which is kind of fun. But then you can burn out really quick. So if you're unsure, guys, just wait until you see my guide on her and see if you like her. But she does seem like the type of character I think that's going to have longevity because one, support characters have longevity, and then like kind of these follow-up characters can have longevity too. And she's kind of got both of those things. And she has a nice FR condition. So there is a little, she's not as free as like say Rosa, because you do have to team build a little bit and make sure you're using melee, but I think she is a really nice character that you could have in your box. I think she's going to be really good for lockout content and all of that, right? So anyways, you guys can let me know if you're going to pull on her. She's definitely not a must pull. I'm not telling all players to go and grab her, but if you have the resources for her and your box dictates that you kind of need this type of character, I think she is a very good pickup. So anyways, let me know what you guys are going to do. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.